This is a tutorial for identifying conditions when using a binomial distribution. Normally, this type of question is accompanied by a probability calculation, but in this tutorial, we are focusing on the reasoning using the conditions. Our question is, in a certain country, the probability that a randomly chosen young man will marry in his 20s is 0.65. A group of 10 of these young men were chosen at random. Select a model for this situation and justify your choice. A good place to start is with the mnemonic BINS. Let's write this down. This stands for binary, independent, number of trials, and success probability. It's not just enough to write these 4 general conditions, but we need to put in the context of the question. So let's do that now. So we have chosen a binomial distribution because we have only 2 outcomes. Either the man gets married or he doesn't. We have independent trials. Each man doesn't affect any other getting married. A fixed number of trials. The group of 10 men. And a constant probability of success. Each man has a 0.65 chance of getting married. So now we have the 4 conditions in the context of the question. Let's take a look at another question and see if we can follow some similar steps. This time we have Miss V is taking her horse to a jumping competition. There is a 4% chance her horse will refuse a jump. One jumping round consists of 12 jumps. Select a model for this situation and justify your choice. Explain any assumptions you make and conditions that may not be valid. So a little bit extra to the question this time, but we're going to start it in the same way. Our mnemonic is BINS. Remembering this stands for binary, independent, number of trials, and success probability. So now we're going to put it in the context of the question. I have chosen a binomial distribution because there are only 2 outcomes. Either the horse refuses or it jumps. Independent trials. Each jump doesn't affect any other jump. A fixed number of trials. "12 jumps in the round, and a constant probability of success. Each jump has a 4% chance of being refused." So there we have the 4 conditions of the binomial distribution written in the context of the question. Now, explain any assumptions you make and conditions that may not be valid. In this case, the conditions of independent trials and a constant probability of success may not be valid. So these are assumed. Now, explaining why they may not be valid is because as the horse goes through the jumping round, it may gain more confidence as it goes through. Therefore, the probability of success would change, and the trials are no longer independent as they are having an effect on each other. So, as the horse does the round, so there we go. 2 questions showing you how to identify binomial conditions and link these to the context of the question.